And good morning, everybody. Happy Monday, August 11th.
Happy Monday, Matt. Happy Monday, everybody. That is me in chat. It's not someone trying to steal your crypto by dropping wallet addresses. That's actually me saying hi. I never get to go in the chat because the restream doesn't give. Whoops. Hey, turn that off. The ad just popped up on my
Uh-oh.
phone. So I just left the chat. But yeah, the restream doesn't give you a method. Doesn't give us a method to interact with the chat
Well,
directly.
it
I wish
gives
it
me a
did.
method. It gives me a
Oh, it
method.
does?
Yeah, but
So
not
it's just the
you.
guest it doesn't give.
Yeah, just the guest can't.
Anyway, that's it. I never get to talk in the chat, but I wish I could more often. Anyway, with that said, it was a fantastic weekend for crypto, Bitcoin. It's funny. I was telling Matt on Friday, they're going to have to run. Crypto really wants to run, but they're only able to run up so far. Then they've got to crash it back down by Sunday night and Monday morning, just in time for price to. No. What I said was that I thought it was going to price was going to run up on Friday so that they could crash it back down over the weekend and open Monday exactly where Friday left off. And we kind of got the opposite. Like price didn't run up on Monday. I mean on Friday. Price ran up over the weekend and then crashed back down to where we left off on Friday. But we're very bullish on crypto, and you'll hear Matt talk about that. So go ahead, take it away, Matt.
Yeah, let's start with the indices here for SPY. What do we see? Well, I have this line drawn here, and that's basically like the 633, 644 level. And that's really my momentum indicator to whether or not it wants to continue to push towards the 648.98 or not. And so far it's above, and we can see pre-market it's green as well. So the continuation higher is likely as long as that 633 zone continues to hold. QQQ, this is pretty close to the 1.272 fib right here, so I'll be watching that as the next major resistance. It looks like it is going to all-time high territory pre-market right now, and 578.46 is that level to get to before maybe any kind of rejection, and it is getting a little bit extended from the date. This is the daily chart from the daily cloud, so if it does get there, it could just spend time consolidating, maybe retrace a little bit, getting closer to the weekly Ichimoku cloud before continuing higher. So bullish chart, but getting close to its 1.272. And IWM, this is still on top of that 702, the 219.87. This is a very, very nice development here. Also, price is green pre-market, but I just want to see continuation of stability on top of this baseline conversion line, 219.87 on the daily chart. And yeah, just a few more days, and maybe it'll get really close to the cloud, maybe even touch it before continuing higher. So I think very good developments for that. And with Bitcoin, what do we see? Well, it did actually break out back above this arc again. So we had
Woohoo!
1 week that closed below, and then there was a possibility of going back down to that bottom arc, but it never went there. So we reclaimed that. But if you notice a trend here, we're not really going higher than we did before. We basically all these weekly candle bodies are around the same zone. It is trying to go a little bit higher right now, but it's battling this big long wick that it had back in July. So we'll see if we can start to make a higher high. And if so, then perhaps the 128 could come after that. But yeah, bullish developments all across the board here. There's nothing bearish about any crypto chart, really. It's just kind of consolidating, range bound, getting ready to try to explode once again higher. But so far, we don't really have any breakouts too much in the crypto market except for Ethereum. I can talk about that a little bit really quickly, wherever my Ethereum chart is. Ethereum had the best breakout. I haven't seen this in a long time because this 886 was a big, massive resistance and it broke out. So if we're going to be watching what Tracker was saying, maybe they're going to send it up high and then retest levels. This is a possibility right now for Ethereum to backtest the 886, maybe $4,000, maybe even wick below back into 39, make people all depressed again. When in reality, it's a breakout backtest for the continuation to all-time highs. And just to show you how bullish this is, we've never really been above this level except for like a few weekly candles up here, like a couple of months back in 2021. It spent some time above 4,000, but since then, never really a weekly candle close above it. So that's how bullish this development is. Also, back in 2021 in May, it never closed a weekly candle above. So it's kind of like a big deal, right? Really, really big deal. So back testing that would be super healthy and would be probably one of the last opportunities to accumulate, in my opinion. But it's never a guarantee to get back down there. But that's what I'm looking at for a potential back test for Ethereum there. So Tracker, take it away.
All right. So with that said about Ethereum, do keep a watch on tickers that depend on Ethereum, like ETHU, which is like a 2x ETH ETF, and SBET runs on ETF on Ethereum.
Yeah, and BM&R and all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I
exactly.
do it because a lot of people are interested in my Patreon. But me personally, I rather just own the crypto itself. I don't need any kind of derivative of it or treasury of it or whatever. I'd rather go straight to the source.
Yep,
That's
yep.
my
That's probably
opinion.
the better longer term play. I feel like the inefficiency of the market will cause these to pump harder the first time around before everything settles down. It's like, oh, okay. Like once everyone's doing it, they're like, okay, maybe
Yeah,
they want, I don't know, more competition in the market or something.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, if you'll pull up my chart for me, Matty, here is am I sharing my chart?
Yeah, you should be. There you go.
Okay, there, perfect. That's it. All right. So here's Bitcoin, and you can see it really did do kind of like a, a cup and a little handle, and then it took off, and now this looks like almost the same cup, and it just needs a little handle before it moves up again, or before it can move up again anyway. So yeah, I mean, look at this. This part right here, it looks a lot like this part right here. So just look for, I don't know, some more of this. Maybe just a little bit more longer. Okay. And I do sort of have this as 100% down to the 618. So maybe 200%. Where is my, oh, it's not on here. Anyway, it's about right about here. Okay. Bitcoin. Oh, I've got a whole other chart on that. But, let's do Tesla. Tesla. Now, remember, I talked about this last, like, was it on Friday morning, I think, or Thursday and Friday morning? So, like, the longer that this just goes sideways, these are 16-hour candlesticks, then, then the bigger the move when it does break out this triangle, just like we had way back here. Remember this right here? We had that 138.81 bottom, and then it started to run up, and then it did this. It went sideways for it was like 6 or 7 weeks straight before it broke out, back tested it, and then went higher. We could be seeing the same thing. And maybe it'll just keep going sideways for a little longer until everyone just, most people are already tired of it. I saw even Curious Pagey wrote a post this morning or last night about how, stop whining, stop bitching, just give Tesla time to do the thing. All right, so there we go. All right, with I guess the requests. Let me go back down here. Okay, early bird gets the worm. BMNR. Here's my BMNR chart. And then I don't know if VINZF. I'll have to see if I'll do that on when it's Matt's turn to talk. BMNR, I'm looking for basically it's doing this cup. Maybe I'm hoping it'll do this cup right here to 88.35, then handle down to 65.13, and then cups again, and hopefully just breaks out over this high to this new higher high at 257.80. So anyway, I'm very bullish on BMNR as well as SBET and Galaxy and a whole bunch of these. What was I trying to do? I was going to do this thing here. Yeah. I already got one over here. From where price is now, last time I looked at this, it was 511% higher to go. Now it's 358% higher to go from where price is now to the wave 3 top, to the wave 1 top at 88.35, somewhere around 57% higher. All right, I'm going to throw it back to you, Matt, and then I'm going to work on this VNZF.
Oh, I think I was muted.
Oh, okay, you're muted, but you're back.
I was pulling a tracker right there, huh?
Oh, no, sorry.
And,
Yeah, that's what we're calling it now, right?
Pull a tracker. I'll just jump into Tesla and Coinbase and maybe MicroStrategy, Galaxy. Yeah, we'll do those really quickly. So here's the development with Tesla. All the bearish people that support again are back on the bull train, I guess, judging by some comments on X. So we do have the potential to continue the journey up to the 340s, the 348, 350. But I cannot see any kind of explosion just yet until price actually flips this arc to a support, which is also around the linear scale fib right here. Did I turn that one off? Yeah, right here. Yeah, it's the 786, which is the 347.58. Right, that's the 347 linear scale fib 786. Then I got the orange linear scale again at 358, and then the log scale arc right here, which is around that 348, 350 zone as well. So it's a big resistance zone still. Let's see if it has the energy to break above. If so, great things can happen. But if not, it can stay in consolidation for a lot longer inside the cloud, underneath the arc, and we'll take it one day, 1 week at a time. But support has been holding just fine. So a breakout above seems more likely than not. Let's take a look at Coinbase too. Pre-market, I do have again for this one, but all I'm really watching is the 318.95, the 886, because staying above it, opening a candle back above it today would be a very bullish thing for the potential to just continue back up to all the resistance levels above, from the 340s up to the 390s and the 400s again. So anything that stabilizes on top of the 886 fib, doesn't matter which chart it is, what the fundamentals are, it usually goes to all-time highs and fib extensions above. So very, very nice development there. Let's keep watching that for the rest of the week. We can look at MSTR too. And MicroStrategy, this is basically still building a nice foundation on top of this arc here. Still is stuck under the conversion line at around 408, so that's going to be something to try to break above. But it's basically in consolidation for some time until ready to break out. And once it can really start to make higher highs again in the 450s, then we'll start to see the 1.618 fib again. But it could take some time to get there before a breakout happens. And lastly, I'll do Galaxy GLXY. And also the 886, right? It's above it. We have that 2777, so it just keeps staying above that. Build a base on top, then we'll get to the $38 level, and then some fib extensions above. Could be in the 80s and the 100s up there for Galaxy. So yes, it does look like a very bullish chart. So everything looks bullish, but I think the most bullish thing for everything would be if Ethereum went back down to that $4,000 level, make people all scared it's going to collapse again, and then things could just launch into space. All right, go ahead and finish it off, Tracker. Your thoughts?
All right. I do have a VNZF here, just sort of a chart to look at. So here is your log scale chart. Here's the whole history of it. It's not a lot of it. Over-the-counter stock. Let's see. So the 11.1111 fib retracement is right here at 7 cents. And it's bullish. It's currently above that 7 cents level. That's the 1111. So bullish as long as it stays above that. It's bearish if it drops below it, because then it could go and make a new lower low. But as long as it doesn't cross this line, it should eventually want to retest this 50% retracement fib back to towards the all-time high. That'd be 23.47. It could spend a lot of time under this line, but that's where it's going to want to go if it's going to do a bull run next. So you can take a screenshot of this, watch each of these levels. It'll test the 236 next, then the 298, might send it back down to the 111, then the 382, back down to the 298, and then the 50%. So there you go. That's my analysis on VNZF. Let's see. Do I have UMA? I do not have UMA. I'll do that one later. DXYZ, I definitely have that. All right, here's my DXYZ chart. It has been really good at not making a new lower low since I called this my larger degree wave 1, wave 2. And it's just kind of still hanging around. It's like an extended, super extended, wider flat. This is kind of interesting because after all this time, it cannot make a new lower low. So when this does move up, it's going to start, moving erratically, very quickly, very to the upside. It's been a long, painful hold if you bought it anywhere around here or here or here. So just be patient with this, hang in there. Eventually, it should want to, just like here, just like the other one on the log scale, it should want to retest this 50% halfway point at 43.53, which it did once, right? So the next time it should get up to it, make a higher low around 43.53. No, I'm sorry. I don't know. That was a 618. Yeah, it should come up to the 43.53, then break out the second time, then go to 77.25 is what my fib extensions say that it should really do next. Yeah, there you go. It kind of looked at a three. Oh yeah. Let's stick with this for now. DXYZ is still bullish over 25.19. Let's see what, and then open. I've got an open chart because I've been looking to catch, I don't know, some kind of bottom with this. It it had a lot of institutional buying in here, and then as soon as they abandoned it, that's when prices fell. But why would they buy here only to let it fall forever? I don't think so. I think they're gonna. I think institutions are catching it now. Um, I'm looking for this to recover, or at least put on a recovery um, consolidation pattern here for a while. So anyway, open again. These are log fib retracements back to the all-time high. Is that the all-time high? Yes, 39.24, and it basically went to the 50% level, got rejected, but it never tested the 298 is sort of where it held. I don't know if it's got to touch the 236. It could. That'd be $1.42, but bullish if it can get over the 382, then it'll keep going up higher, and you'll get something that kind of looks like. I've been using this a lot lately. I like these little. Let's see. It's got to do this. And it could look something like this. Anyway, there you go. It's got to retest 447, maybe get rejected the first time. Then that makes the handle, and then it goes higher. So, I mean, if it does go from where prices right now, and it just, hits the 786 and gets sent back, that's still 676% higher from where prices now. If it did go to the 236, $1.42, that's almost 1,000%, from $1.42 to 1548. So anyway, I think it's interesting here, even if it takes a while. All right, back to you, Matt, and I'll do UMA after this.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of this crypto. I see LTC right here. And Litecoin, what we can see with Litecoin is actually breaking some levels. It's getting back above my arc and the blue level, but it's still below the 618 fib, which is at 125.93. So that's going to be something to try to break above to get a lot more bullish. But right now, we just have to be patient because let's see if we can establish some kind of a base on top of this arc here and the blue level. So from the 119 up to the 124, let's just stay in that range. And if that's successful, then we can start to see maybe price just break out of that 125 and go much higher. But I think we're just going to stay range bound for a little bit until it's ready to break out. So it's a bullish chart, but still is not ready to continue the journey higher. I also see Solana on that list as well. And Sol, we can see it's stuck under the arc, 186, 187, stuck above the 886. So a back test of that 174 down to the low 170s, maybe 172. It is possible before trying to continue the journey higher. But it's a very, very nice development, right? So we can see that maybe just a few more weeks of trying to build a base on top of here before we're ready to continue the journey higher. So let's just keep watching that 174 down to the low 170s, stabilize as support in order to get more bullish. And I see Doge as well. And we can see Doge is actually right on top of the 50-week moving average, doing a back test right now around the 0.22768. We did close the week back above all those indicators there, the conversion baseline and 50. So going back for a back test is a healthy development, and any kind of back test in current price down to the 21-cent zone is perfectly acceptable before it's really ready to go up to the 26.26 and the bottom of the cloud and all that stuff. So great developments for crypto, and these back tests after a breakout are perfectly healthy, and I would like to see them back test a little bit lower first before we continue higher. Tracker.
All right, let's see. I've got UMA on deck here. I've never looked at this chart before. It looks great. We have like such great followers that they come with these great ideas. UMA looks fantastic. Here's the whole price history. There's the dinosaur. That's the beginning of the price history. It started at about its 50% level, what it would become its 50% level, puts in an all-time low of 543. Hey, Matt, this is one of those indicators that I modified just before the show using Rock's help. It shows me the all-time high and the all-time low, so I don't have to go back and look for it. Anyway,
Oh, nice.
let's see. Yeah, it's really cool. So all-time high 2489 goes back to the 1111 here at 643, and that's how I know it's a good chart, because obviously it's an uptrend, higher high, higher low. Goes to the almost to the 786, sends it back to the 50% level. Right now it's under the 50% level, so I don't know. It might have to come back to the 382 here, which would be $9.71. And then from there, if that can put in support, then maybe it can go to the 886. I almost want to say, no, let's just go for it. To the 886 would be 2092. It won't get up there the first time, maybe the second time after the 886 before I can go to retest the all-time high. The 702 would be a great bottom. The 618 is also a pretty good place for it to find support. In fact, I'm going to go with the 618 for now. Because look, the time it spends under here, it's going to keep this moving average 300 going sideways as well. These are weekly candlesticks, so that could take a while. That's all the way into August of 2020. Go away. 2027. I don't know. These, I can't really predict timing with this, but 318% higher to get to the 141 up here at 46.74 is where eventually this chart will go. Just give it some time. All right, back to you, Matt, and I'll pull up something else. Or I can just keep going. I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
Yeah, no, I was looking at some things here.
I'll do Ondo here.
Okay.
And then you can have it after Ondo.
Well, so I think Ondo is the
crypto. I'm sorry, you're right. All right, here about EUSC. I know I get that. Oh, EUSC. From its all-time high of 31.95 to its all-time low of 61 cents. Who would have thunk it? From 61 cents to, where are we now? $6.37. That's like 1,000% increase. That's lovely. Yeah, it's just, here's your cup and your many handles, and it's going to have many handles in the future. So if you're patient on this, eventually it'll go to its own 141, which is not pictured here. Why are you not log scale? I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been doing a lot more log scale charts lately because they just work out so well. Yeah, eventually this will go to like $164. You just gotta give it time. Cup, many handles. Once one day it'll retest the all-time high, and then you'll see it go Palantiring. But for now, we're still stuck under the 618 of 704 as big resistance for a while. But there you go. I know it's a mess. Here, I know most of you guys want like a close-up price action. I'm calling for still the 764. That'd be $7.68 next. Would give it a toe over the previous high here. Back to the 382, and then it can go on to the 1382. Oh, that would be here. And the 100. I guess I've been kind of playing around. I'm not. This should go to the 2382. If it's going to do 764 382, maybe it does. Oh, this is 2025. It could do 618 382, which means it's already hit resistance. Anyway, something like this. I'll put it back to linear scale, and yeah, you can see 618 382. That goes to a 537. This marker here, I think it's 25% off of the recent all-time high, 552. That could be a target. Somewhere around there, 552, 537. And then it goes on to eventually 1140 up here. All right, back to you, Matt.
Yes, let's take a look at AMD right now. And my AMD chart, I can see that price is really just trying to stabilize now on top of the 2021 high back in November of 2021. And it did go back and back tested last week, got a wick below it, and we're above the cloud now. So it's a good development. going to keep watching that 164 zone, right? Just 164.46. Try to stabilize on top of it. If it can continue to do so, then then perhaps no more need for a deeper retest. But if it starts to close weekly candles below that 164, then the potential to go back for a deeper back test becomes possible, which is both are healthy scenarios, right? So if it wants to go deeper, that's fine, but it's just a big breakout. So any kind of back test, I think from the 164 to 145 is really, really healthy. But ultimately, for the most bullish scenario, just stay above 164. That would be the best situation for AMD. And for Nvidia, there's not really much to talk about except that it did do all-time high weekly candle close last week, and it did from the top to the bottom of earlier this year. It did close above this 1.272 fib at 178.80. So I'm going to be watching that for a potential support before it really wants to try to continue the journey higher. And lastly, I'll do TSM as well. Haven't done this in a while, but I wanted to show that the 1.618 is coming soon. And that's 251.63, but it still has failed to get there. So there just could be more consolidation. The conversion line is right there at 226. So we'll be watching that for a potential support. But ultimately, what it's doing between the symmetry of the arcs here is just resistance, and the symmetrical support is down here. So it's been range bound since it really broke into the arcs back in June. So I think it's just going to continue to stay in this range for some time until able to break out, which means back test a little bit deeper, 226 or lower is still possible before trying to break out above. So lots of good developments in the semis here, but they've had a big run. So just because of that, we could have some retraces before going higher, which is a healthy development tracker.
All right, Matt. I want to show this. This is an Nvidia chart that I made just for my subscribers this morning, and then I shared it with all of the Sentinel 7. That's what we call ourselves, the Matt and Cat and Freedom by 40 and Real Blonde Broker and Hiding Out and Red Fox Rider. Anyway, maybe there's not 7 of us anymore. I lost count. But Nvidia, I did this log scale chart, and here's my moving average 75 weekly. This is a weekly chart. And I pulled these Fibonacci based channels, fib channels, and it's really sort of been holding this red line as sort of the inflection point of support, resistance. I'm curious if Matt's chart, his Gann chart, has anything around $201 like my chart has here. But as you can see from the RSI, it's getting kind of close to overbought. But you can also see in the past, it can go really overbought before it starts to go to reverse course again. And I'm thinking that, based off of from this 0 level back to this 100% level at 153, the 141's like a 194 almost. And then what I tried to do was I took from this bottom, from the 2382 here to this 1618 here, I kind of bridged across these log fib levels here. And, the 886 is always big resistance. I think we could see resistance at $200.91, and that kind of just trades sideways for a while, giving this moving average 75 time to catch up. And I don't know if it'll be here in November or if it goes all the way out here in February. But it would finally do a wick back, touch moving average 75 before it can go higher and get over the 886 again. So, and one thing I wanted to talk about mention again was how you hear me talk about rotation. There seems to be like this one main rotation, right? It goes from chips and energy, which is supply. No, wait, is that right? And then it rotates into crypto and AI. Yeah, chips and energy. And then it goes to the customers who use chips and energy, crypto and AI. And then it rotates from crypto and AI back into chips and energy, just back and forth. So anyway, I feel like we're getting to the part where chips and energy are, going into resistance, but I think AI and crypto are just about to do another big breakout. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. I do have Galaxy, and you can see here from the this price history, it's just a big cup. Well, like here's a cup and a handle, then this cup and a handle, and many handles, right? And then eventually it will retest $38, then break out and move up higher. So my breakout point, I'm looking for this 127 up here, 48.22 from where prices right now. That's still about, last time was 75%. Now it's like 74%. We kind of opened close to where we left off on Friday. But yeah, quite bullish on Galaxy. This is one of Cat's Palantiring candidates. And you can see, eventually if it goes, oh wait, am I still log scale? The 141's up here at $53. And then it could, after the 1618, it goes into a zone where it goes to the 2618. And yeah, that would be Palantiring up to the 2618 from where price is now. It's 255% higher. Anyway, I've got positioned this. I like it. And that's all. Well, we have a few minutes, but I'm going to send it back to you, Matt, if you want to finish up or if you got more ideas that you want to.
Yeah, I'll
What do you
finish up
think about
with.
that Nvidia resistance at 201?
Mine's around 220-ish. So
Oh, his just keeps
yeah,
going.
215.
He's looking at this
220.
2618 and the 25.
Yeah. Yeah, Nvidia is bullish, but nothing melts up forever and ever and ever. So
All right, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
yeah, I'll finish off with just a couple here with Lemonade and TTD. There's a lot of talk about Trade Desk, but here's my Lemonade chart. It did have a breakout above the 50% fib here, so the 4401 can be a potential support. Now, if it did need to back test it, that's perfectly acceptable. But this is a breakout, right? It's a breakout. It's a higher high from back in June. So it's a good development, and this is what I like to see. I like the big breakouts. The back tests are very, very nice for that potential to continue the journey higher. And up top here, we do have the next resistance potential, which is around the ARC, maybe around $60. And then we got the 618 at 62. So yeah, it's a bullish chart, right? Stay above 44. It's going to go higher. And TTD, this will be my last one. And essentially, all the warning signs were there for me because the monthly chart was really telling a picture here. And the monthly chart was showing me that this was a huge loss of support right where the angle was, right where the GAN level was back in February, right? Loss of support, came all the way down to the 100, came back up, basically almost touched the baseline conversion line, flipped it to a resistance, and just sent it lower. So something that was kind of scary after this bearish engulfing candle back in February kind of told the story that this chart was going to be under pressure for some time. And sure enough, now it's back under the arc. Now it's going back maybe to the 100-month moving average. And is it going to stop there? That's what we got to find out. But anything below the monthly cloud that stays below, it had a chance to recover, but now it just basically lost that chance. So if it can't recover this month and stays below the monthly cloud, then that's kind of a big trend change because TTD really has not been any time under the cloud. Like the cloud formation started right here, and price has really never been below it ever since then. So this could be a big trend change for the potential to go lower. And if it cannot get above the arc around 58, if it cannot get back inside the cloud around 64, then the potential to go back and retest this blue GAN level becomes possible over time, not immediately, but maybe in the years to come. Maybe goes back down there to the 29 where it was the big breakout zone, and it was a resistance as well before it broke out. So something that I'm cautious with. I have no interest in a stock like this. Once it breaks below the monthly cloud, I kind of just run away. So with that, Tracker, take it away.
All right. I want to show the trade desk too. I kind of called to my subscribers that this was an amazing opportunity. Well, I said in this show too, an amazing opportunity to buy what I think is a blue chip stock of tech with this back test. And so looking deeper into it, what I did was I pulled this is another log scale, 100% fib from the all-time low, or no, I'm sorry, this recent low, not all-time low, 4281, back to its own 111. No, I'm sorry, this 11.4. to the previous high that we had. And so I've subdivided it. And then I looked back into the last time we were back here, and it really looks like it's at the contentious 786 here, the smaller degree 786. The best place for it to show support would be at this 618 at 5131. Here you can see it wicked above it, wicked through it, almost tested back to it, but didn't ever touch it. So maybe this is the time it touches 5131 and then goes bang, zoom up. So watch 5131, the 618, take a screenshot for the trade desk. I think that'll be a good place to buy a dip. Maybe you can wait for confirmation. Obviously, once it gets back over the 11.4, that's a bullish sign for the stock. So back over 57.39, it's definitely going the bullish direction. And then last thing, I was going to do SBET because I talked about that one too, and it's Ethereum based and all that, 16-hour chart. Yeah, let's see. What did I want to show with this? This is the right one, but I need to go there. You know what? Let me look at the weekly chart. I feel like it's just trying to cup and handle here, even though it's just a crazy looking run down. Didn't quite reach its own 618 here. Got rejected by the 50%, back to the 298. It did get support of the 236 to its own internal. So basically over 8094 over this 88888 or over the 886, which is also the 50% level back here around over 6577 really is what it needs to do. And then it'll start making handles and handles and handles. So I don't know. I'm bullish on this too. Obviously Ethereum ran up and then ran back down again before the market could really open here. So we're back to where we started on Friday. But, potential from here to the 1272 is 61,000%. That's crazy. Okay, let's not go that crazy. Let's just say, just to go and fail at the 886, that's still like 4,000% higher to get to, oh yeah, because that's like 969. Never mind, this is going to be, I should think smaller for this for a while. But I think this will be big resistance, this moving average 300. So, I guess think under the 150s for a little while. But still, from $23 to 150, that's 541% higher. And that could happen in the next 6 months, I'd say. All right, there we go. That's it for us. We'll have a triumvirate show tomorrow night, I think. And I'm going to get Matt to talk about XRP endlessly.
All right, guys. Sounds great. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow morning, same time.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Good luck out there today and this week. And we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Matt.